Hi everyone, I'm Michael Uriarty or Dr. Mike, and welcome to Technique Talk, the MYK System, and more. This is episode 26 in our series of comparing and contrasting other techniques with the MYK System. Today, we're going to talk about orthobionomy. If you want more information on either technique, I have the website links in the description below. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I have a lot more videos coming. Whether you're a patient looking to get help or a practitioner looking for a good technique to learn, this series is what you need. Let's dive in. All right, I want to say that this website, the Society of Orthobionomy, and I put the website in the link below, in the notes below. But the website, there's a section on it, and it says, "What is orthobionomy?" And it answers all the questions that I love to ask. And so I was very excited when I got on this website. And so if we go down to the bottom here, and it says how orthobionomy was developed. Now, they don't have a picture of this dude on here yet, but Arthur Lincoln Pauls. And I'm going to see if I can find a picture of him. I may be able to put a picture of him up there. And he was a unique individual, I'm going to say, just from a looking, appearance standpoint. Big old beard, and maybe I'm jealous. I can't grow a beard. Look, I'm clean shaven. Yeah, so I can't grow a beard. But anyway, let's go into this. So it says orthobionomy is a modality that stems from osteopathic philosophy that the body has everything it needs to find balance and healing. The principles being health is dependent upon structural integrity. I agree. Structure governs function. That's true. And the rule of the artery is supreme. Well, now that I don't know. So, because I'm going with the nervous system. I was taught the nervous system. So, orthobionomy was developed by Arthur Lincoln Pauls, a British osteopath who wanted to find a way to work with the body which honored the body's own inherent wisdom. From his experience as a judo instructor, so he was a pretty unique guy, judo, so that's pretty cool. And through his training as an osteopath, he found ways of working with the body by exaggerating the body's preferred positions and postures, thereby permitting the body's self-correcting reflexes to create greater balance and alignment. So Pauls discovered that by working with the body and not against it, the body could find balance on its own without using force as a means of correction. Oh, interesting. Okay. So the term orthobionomy comes from the Greek translation of ortho, meaning to correct or straight, and bio, meaning life, and nami, meaning the laws of life or study of. And Dr. Pauls defined the term then as the correct application of the laws of life. Okay. So he defined the term orthobionomy as the correct application of the laws of life, that orthobionomy is really about understanding your whole life cycle. Naturally, we focus on structure because that is the literal skeleton upon which our life is built. Okay, so he's getting into so maybe it's not so much a soft tissue technique. I thought it was a soft tissue. I'm pretty sure it is a soft tissue technique. So we're going to get into that. So he began teaching orthobionomy in 76. I believe he, just like, who was it the other day we were talking about? 1929, this guy was born. 1929. I think it was yesterday's. But 1929, died in 1997. So fairly young from that standpoint, right? He was a young guy. But over the years, Paul's original students became teachers of orthobionomy to carry forward the vision to be available to everyone everywhere. So he's made his training available throughout the U.S., Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Europe. And they're trying to take it down into Brazil and Asia. All right, so that was about who made it. And it doesn't really go into why he made it. And I found another website, and it doesn't say... he says, Paul was inspired by the work of Lawrence Jones and his paper, Spontaneous Release by Positioning. And he drew on his knowledge of judo and homeopathy. And he believed that the body has an innate ability to heal itself. I agree with that. And Paul's developed phased reflex techniques to increase the body's awareness and self-healing responses. Okay. All right, so that's a little bit about Arthur Lincoln Pauls. And so that part, I always like that. I would like to know a little bit more, but I like the little blurb on he was influenced by that paper. So if we go into how can orthobionomy help? So, and if we go back, who developed the MYK system? Right here. You're talking to him right here. I did it. And so clean shaven. Yep, clean shaven guy right here. There you go. So I developed the MYK system. I developed it because I was working with a bunch of massage therapists. I had 5 massage therapists in the office, and they were like, hey, you get a bill for the treatments that you do. We bill for the minutes that we do. You know, and I was like, well, I see the benefit that you guys do. Let's put a treatment together that we could bill for you guys. And so, you know, just got into the anatomy and the physiology books to put all of this together. So, you know, from a chiropractic standpoint, if I adjust C5, so I said, how can we do that if we're just working on the muscles? So how can we group the muscles to just try and impact C5? And so put all that information together, and then it worked. And then we started going out and teaching and that kind of stuff. All right, so let's go back. How does orthobionomy help? So it says, do you suffer from acute or chronic pain? Orthobionomy is a holistic approach to healing that works with the proprioceptive aspects of the nervous system to cue the self-corrective reflexes inherent in everyone. Orthobionomy uses gentle positioning and movements, which can allow tension patterns, which are creating pain, to relax, reset, and reorganize from within. All right. So it's going to be, you know, like maybe slow movements, maybe. I haven't had the class. I haven't had a treatment of orthobionomy. And so maybe if you know, or if you've studied orthobionomy, you can put some comments in below to tell us maybe if we're on the right path as far as if it is slow movements from that standpoint. That's what it sounds like to me. So it says orthobionomy is a principle-based approach, which means that we work with the conditions present in each individual body in any given moment. Because the principles of orthobionomy are to work with positions of ease rather than force, most people find an orthobionomy session to be comfortable and relaxing. And each session is different, as self-correction is as individual as each person. So each session is different because every body is different, and you're going to come in with different complaints every single time. So I get that. Orthobionomy is an innovative system for dealing with mysterious symptoms or conditions that elude successful treatment. It allows for a sophisticated analysis of the different dimensions and levels of body, mind, and spirit, and uses a natural approach to invite balance and easeful function. Orthobionomy works effectively with back, neck, and knee issues, acute and chronic pain, headaches, shoulder dysfunction, limited range of motion, stress, muscle tension, sports injuries, sprains, and strains. Common benefits of orthobionomy: increased flexibility, greater ease of movement, interruption of the cycle of pain, supports healing from surgery, complements physical therapy, reduces muscle tension, improves circulation, and supports relaxation. Nice. Okay. So I like that. I like that it says it complements physical therapy as well. That's pretty cool. So from our standpoint with the myokinesthetic system, so kind of our just a 30,000 foot view of how to explain this is we're kind of dealing with the nervous system. We're looking at posture, and so if somebody walks in and their posture's off, and I always use the shoulders because you're looking at me and I can see the shoulder. You can see the shoulder. So, but if their posture is off, and we can balance the posture. Posture is the outward expression of the nervous system. So if the posture is off, and if we can balance the nervous system or balance the posture, then we've balanced the nervous system. And if we balance the nervous system, we calm the nervous system, but then the body starts to work the way it's supposed to work. So pain goes down and range of motion goes up, and people feel better and move better, and then they're healthier and they don't get sick as often and all that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of the big overview. If I just had to explain it really fast, that would be the big overview of the myokinesthetic system. Now, what conditions are helped with orthobionomy? So sprained ankles, back pain, carpal tunnel, circulation issues, computer posture pain, effects of traumatic events, fibromyalgia, foot and toe pain, frozen shoulder, headaches, or migraines. I would say that the MYK system, we would go with all of those as well. Let's go to the other side. Insomnia, knee pain. Now, we haven't treated for insomnia. That's not something. I will say that people say they sleep better. So that is something that is a side effect. It's a positive side effect. After you get your nervous system balanced, people do tend to sleep better. Knee pain, limited flexibility, neck pain, plantar fasciitis, sciatica stress, TMJ, trauma, and whiplash. I would say the MYK system goes with all of those. So from a treatment standpoint, we're pretty similar in the things that we're going to treat. So that's kind of cool. So what is a session like? I love this because you can't find this on many websites, and so I love this. So typically, orthobionomy sessions last about an hour. Okay, so there's a big difference because with the MYK system, it's about 15 minutes or less. Comfortable, loose-fitting clothes are suggested to allow full range of movement. We say the same thing. So, and you stay fully clothed. So the practitioner works with you to identify areas of discomfort, tension, and pain, as well as areas of comfort and ease of movement. So what we do, if we notice that you can't move, if you don't have full range of motion, we're not going to go past that range of motion. We have found that tends to lock up that joint or that area. So there's a passive component with the MYK system where the patient is passive. So we are going to move them around. There's an active component where the patient is active. So they are going to move themselves. So if they come in with limited range of motion in one joint, they're going to move that joint. We don't want to go past what they can do because then sometimes that will lock them up, and we don't want to do that. So from that standpoint, I see a similarity because they're doing movements. We do movements. Ours are all based on the muscles that we're treating. So we're basically stretching, elongating most of the muscles that we're going to be treating. So gentle movements. I tend to do quick, but the very, very short, so I may go to end range and just back and forth. I don't have to go through a full range of motion like this to do a treatment. I can just go quick little movements. You don't have to go to end range. Comfortable positioning. This is orthobionomy. Gentle movements, comfortable positioning, brief compressions, which we do as well. So we do an on-off, 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 on-off with a push and release. You don't have to do that. You can glide, you can cross friction, you can stimulate any way you want to stimulate. But I would say when they list right here, gentle movements, comfortable positioning, brief compressions, and subtle contacts are used. Okay, well, ours may not be so subtle because I'm going to get in and try and find some trigger points and some painful spots. And so that may not be so subtle. Not so subtle, in fact, that we have a shirt that says, "That's not pain, it's just mild discomfort." So, because, as soon as we let off, it no longer hurts. And so it only hurts when we're pushing, but we never want to go past somebody's pain level. We want to take people up to their pain level, but we never want to go past their pain level. So there's going to be a little bit of a difference because if they're using subtle contact or light pressure or light stuff like that, then that's going to be a little bit different. Although some of the MYK practitioners do use a lighter touch, a much lighter touch than I do. Now, no forceful movements are used. Same with the myokinesthetic system, but it also says no forceful pressures are used. Okay, I'm a little bit heavy-handed, so I tend to get in there and find the bad spots. So, all right, every orthobionomy session is specifically designed around your individual needs. Your practitioner will rely on your verbal feedback to fine-tune movements that best facilitate your body's return to natural alignment. Typically, the relief of stress and tension lasts for days or longer after a session. Your practitioner may suggest self-care release techniques you can do at home. These self-care exercises further aid in relieving pain, restoring function, and rebalancing the body. Nice. So with the MYK system, with this technique, we're going to rely on verbal feedback when you go, ow, and we're going to go, okay, that's probably too much. We don't want to push that hard, So we're going to back off a little bit. But we're doing everything on a nerve pathway from that standpoint. But we are going to get rid of stress and tension. And with each treatment, it usually gets further and further and further and further. We can start spacing out the treatments so that you go further and further between. And I would say the normal treatment time for a myokinesthetic patient is probably, about 11 treatments. I would say that's about average. Are there shorter? Yes. Are there longer? Yes. But I would say about the average is about 11 treatments for the myokinesthetic system. And we do have some rehabilitation exercises, some strengthening exercises, some stretching exercises that we can provide each patient. And it's very specific to their postural imbalances and their specific nerve level problem. And so it's very, very specific what we give them for them. So that part's kind of cool and kind of similar from that standpoint. The treatments, I can guess, are very different, but there's a similar philosophy, I think, in what's going on here. So I kind of like that. And let's see, scope of practice. So orthobionomy can relieve acute and chronic pain patterns. It's not massage therapy. No lotions, creams, or oils are used, nor, any soft tissue manipulations or tools associated with that modality. So orthobionomy is not chiropractic, and no force is employed that crosses a resistance barrier. Orthobionomy does not use strengthening or balancing techniques that are used by physical therapists or athletic trainers or the equivalent that they would use. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So I don't know. I guess maybe it's just movement based. So I hope somebody that's listening to this has taken an orthobionomy class or knows about the orthobionomy class, and then they can put some information in the comments below so that we can get a little bit more. But it sounds like it's now, because we apply pressure, we apply a stimulation into every single muscle that we're doing, and so that's going to be totally different, it sounds like, from that. Now, we don't use oils and creams. The person does not get undressed, and the treatments are only 10, up to 15 minutes at the most from that standpoint. Now, if I go into some of my other notes that I took, I want to go into, that's the wrong one. I want to go into, right here. So I'm going through and I'm like, yep, I've already said that. So we've gone through all that. All right. What are the core principles? Let's just see it real again. Orthobionomy is a therapeutic modality rooted in osteopathic philosophy, emphasizing the body's inherent ability to self-correct and heal. So we covered all that. They did a good job with their website. I'm impressed with that. I'm not impressed with a lot of people's websites, so I was impressed with Orthobionomy's website. So it does say early development. So prior to 1976, Arthur Lincoln Pauls, a British osteopath and judo instructor, develops orthobionomy based on osteopathic principles and his own observations. He focuses on working with the body, self-correcting reflexes rather than using force. And Key differences and similarities. So the MYK system appears to be more technique driven, offering specific protocols and manipulations of specific muscles, while orthobionomy is more philosophically grounded, focusing on working with the body's inherent mechanisms. The myokinesthetic system explicitly highlights the importance of the nervous system and aims to rebalance it, while orthobionomy's principles indirectly relate to the nervous system through structural integrity and function. It doesn't have the same explicit focus. Both are non-invasive, so both approaches emphasize non-invasive techniques to alleviate pain and restore mobility. And you can get certified in both techniques. So the MYK system, you can become a certified provider. And the Society of Orthobionomy allows one to become a registered practitioner or a registered advanced practitioner. So there's 5 different professions that are mainly in with the myokinesthetic system. They're listed in the notes below. I'm not sure. I always thought orthobionomy was for massage therapists, but maybe it's for other practitioners as well. So, and I think that pretty much covers. They did a great job. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with Orthobionomy's website. They gave you a lot of information in there, and that was really good. And my goodness, we're over 21 minutes. If you made it this far, smile.